Let's get comfortable. Oh, so YouTube offers filters. Do I need a filter? Let me see. Let's see. Oh, anyhow, I don't like the filter. I don't like the filter. Let me see without. All right, I think a filter helps a little bit. It becomes brighter. So, hi, my lovelies. Live with Ruzhoff once again. And if you've been following me for some time now, you know what we're going to talk about today. After our video on Wednesday, I think that was it about the dating tips. If you have not yet watched it, go back and watch it. I'm giving you the best dating apps for 2023. And with the best, I mean the best. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, so before I dive right in, if you're new here, like I said, our channel is Life with Ruzhoff, but you can also search us by typing in Ruzhoffs with an S at the end. That means I'm also active on other social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I go by the same name, Ruzhoff. If you want to, to stay up to date, get to see more things that I don't actually get to share here on YouTube, just follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or Twitter, whichever you like, or all. And again, if you're new here, this channel is about social empowerment. I know I made a disclaimer in my last video. This is not a dating channel. This is a social empowerment channel. So when I come up with videos like about dating, it's because I'm responding to your questions, to the DMs that I get. But it's very, very important to me to communicate to you that this is an empowerment channel. And that's why I like to give you a full package. I will not drop a video and give you tips, but I would want to give you a full package. So I see we're now 4 people. I'm going to try and wait a little bit for the rest, but for the respect of the people that are already here, I will not drag it. And again, like I said, if you have questions, drop them right now. I'll be answering them. And if you'll allow me, I'll dive right into our topic today. And our topic today is how do you make the perfect online dating profile? How do you create that successful dating profile that will bring you results? Let me put it that way. Well, let me first turn on the charts. How do I do that? Oh my gosh. So blah blah blah. Yeah, all is okay. Someone write a message, please, so that I see how to integrate the chat. All right, now I can see the comments. Thank you. Hey, Superwoman. Hey, Squid. So like I said, we're going right into our topic. So for me, what I would say about a dating profile is look at it this way. When you're applying for a job, when you're creating your CV, or even going for an interview, you put your best foot forward, You make a CV that will sell you for that particular job. And like for my customers, for example, that contact me about CVs and when they have jobs, I always say every CV is different depending on the job you've applied for. So it's also the same with dating. If I join a hookup dating site, and I just want to, we have, for example, there's a dating site that's just for affairs. It's called C Dating, So I'll create a profile that is really good and appropriate for that kind of dating website and will sell me, But since I'm addressing many people here who are interested in marriage, who are interested in long-term relationship, the tips I'm going to give you are about creating that kind of profile that will really attract the appropriate people to you. Let your profile show exactly who you are. And with that, I mean, we all know when you go to someone's profile, I've been on online dating myself, so I know how it works. Like we have the swiping, the left, the right, and then you get matches. The first impression means a lot. Like if I see his pictures, if I see like his first statements, if I see like what he loves to do. So make sure in that very brief chance that you get to talk about yourself, give it your best shot. If I go through your dating profile, can I tell, for example, that you're educated? Can I tell that you love traveling? Can I tell that you're a very bubbly person? Can I tell, for example, that you're an introvert, like in my case, like the times I've done online dating, I've made it very clear that I'm very introverted and I'm not into small talk. So I prefer when people like get to the point and maybe go to phone as soon as possible. So such things should be in your profile. Someone should know who you are. If you are a very open person, if you're very modern, let it resonate in your profile. So those are the things that I'm really talking about, you know, and that's how you create a perfect profile. When we talk perfect profile, we talk in picture, you know. Today I tried my best. I'm not wearing makeup. I hate makeup. For those of you who know me, I always try. Maybe if I go out but I don't wear makeup. But this was just like an example. If you're someone who likes like your hair and you lay big attention to your appearance, then let it also be in your profile. So make an amazing profile picture. I would say your first picture should really show your facial features like properly. Someone should be able to see your eyes, your nose, your mouth. As we all know, we attracted to different things, but I'm someone who believes the eyes are the door to the soul. So it's important to have like really a good quality. You don't have to go to the photographer. We have amazing phones these days, but make a photo that makes someone connect with you. I've seen some profiles where you look at someone's picture and you can connect with them without even having to read everything else. So create a picture that really speaks and resonates about or who you are. Speaking of pictures, I would say you should put at least 4 to 5 pictures. That should be enough. And the good thing, there are apps that offer the chance to put a video or a voice message. So there's a part, I think it's on Bumble, where you can say, for example, what you're looking for. So you can say, hi, you could use your name or a pseudonym name. There's also that possibility. So you say, hi, I'm Rosena. I'm very passionate about traveling and I'm hoping to meet my soulmate here. Punct, you know, something like that. Or a video. Personally, I would put something where I'm traveling, for example, or maybe where I'm dancing, because those are things that I'm very, very passionate about, you know. So when someone scrolls through my profile and they see such a video, they're like, oh, she loves traveling, you know. So someone will decide if this person is really for me or not. I don't understand why I can't see the messages. Okay, now I've put live chat. So, guten Abend, Imani. Hello, Malaika. Thank you for joining me. And for those of you who can, please share the live as you watch and then ask your questions. Yes, I'm seeing all your questions. And my plan today is, since I've really cooked for you, that's what I call it here, I'm first going to give you the food that I cooked for you. I'm going to serve first, and then I'll answer all your questions. And if it's like very, very deep questions, then I'll have to do like another video about it, because for me, like I said, it's not just about videos or dropping tips. I really, really want to serve you and have this holistic package. So keep the messages dropping. I'm going to answer all of them. If you have kids, for example, do not lie about anything when you create an online profile dating. Fact is, at some point, let me tell you that the most common mistakes people make, like putting there all those fake filtered pictures with our social media journey. You know, we're used to posting fake stuff. So most people use the same fake pictures for their dating profiles. And when the guy meets you, he's like, sorry. You know, I'm not saying that dating should be that vain, but be honest. You know, don't fake it. Be real. Yeah, of course, make it nice. Do good lighting. Like now I have good lighting because I don't have any makeup on, but let it be real. If you have kids, be open about it. For the time I was on online dating, I never put in the profile that I had kids. I said, there was an option that says I don't want to talk about it. So I will tell you my intention. Being a social worker, you get to see lots of things, crazy things, you know, nice things and also nice things. So for me, I wanted to filter out, let me say, bad guys that probably would date a single mother because they have an interest in kids, you know, like pedos, you know what I mean? So I decided to keep that section out. But when I would get in contact with a guy and chat for the first time and second time and feel comfortable, then I would be okay if he has to tell him, yes, I have kids. So you really don't have to put it in your profile. Personally, for me, I don't. I've given you my reasons because of my job. I know what can go wrong. But talk about it. Don't lie about it. And especially if we're talking interracial marriages, we're talking about you want to marry a German or British or French guy. the world has moved on, people are fine even if you have your 10 kids. It's love is love, because if someone gets into a relationship with you, he's not marrying your kids, he's marrying you. Of course, you have a package, but he's marrying you. So most important, don't lie about anything. Don't lie about your hate, don't lie about your academic background, don't lie about the fact if you've been divorced. You don't have to put that in your profile, but when you start communicating, like, really be honest. And why do I say that? When you are honest, first of all, you avoid disappointments. Because if I lie, for example, about my size and put there I'm a 58, like I used to be 58 kgs, I'm not anymore. There's a video about that. I've reduced because I'm doing sports and all, but because of a particular health issue, hypothyroidism, I gained in end of 2021, 10 kgs. So from 58 to 68. So if I was still on online dating, I would have to change my weight, not lie about it, because if a guy meets me, he's going to notice I'm not the skinny girl that I used to be. So such things, don't lie about them, and it will help you avoid attracting the wrong people. You might, I don't know, let me tell you a story. When my very, very first time I had started online dating, there's a message I read from a guy who complimented me, how amazing and bombastic I look. And at that time, I was weighing 58 kilograms. To be honest, when I look back at the pictures, I'm like, I was way too skinny. Yes, it was nice for some people, and even me, I was very comfortable with it, but I was very, very skinny. And this guy is like, you're so, so beautiful, but I think you'd even be perfect if you lost 5 more kgs. Idiot, right? Thank you. So imagine someone sending such a message. So if I had lied about my weight and said maybe I'm 55 kgs, this guy probably would have gone ahead to want to date me and maybe even dump you because you're 5 kgs more. And we talk about skinny. I was a size 0, So of course, immediately I blocked that one because I was even fresh in this dating world, and I'm someone who doesn't take BS. And you shouldn't take BS either. But I'll talk about that. Please go on with your messages. I'm definitely going to answer them, right? Yes. So what else do you really have to consider when you're doing your online dating profile? As you can see, I'm a very professional person, so I always prepare for everything I do, because I don't like serving mediocre. Just like my life, I don't do any half-baked stuff. When I do something, I do it 1000+%. So yeah, be very specific what you are searching for. I don't like the term search, because I feel no one should ever search for love. Love finds you. Yes, I create a profile with the hope of meeting that right person, but it shouldn't be in search mode. Search mode drives you into desperation. Search mode creates the impression in your life you really have to find that something that you're looking for. So for me, what I say is, I have a profile, I'm ready to fall in love, and I'm hoping to find my soulmate here. That's how you should go about it. So how do you communicate what you're looking for? All the apps I gave you, I tested them for work. That's how specific I am. Like I said, I don't do half-baked stuff. So let me tell you, all these dating apps, there's a possibility of you writing, for example, the age that you want, and that is from what to what. For example, for me, when I would be doing online dating, I would do from 35 to maximum 50, 55. So anyone above doesn't get, suggested to me, and anyone below doesn't get suggested to me. Then you have to put, like, if size is important to you, are you okay dating someone who is, like extra heavy, or you like tall, slender men, or is academics and intellect very important to you? For those of you who have been following me, I've said for me, one thing that really, really attracts me to a man is his intelligence and intellect. So that is something that I always put in my profile if I'm on online dating. I'm a very well-educated woman, and for example, that I'll be talking about it later, but for me it's important to date someone who's also educated, and not just educated, but someone who's also emotionally intelligent. Someone who is emotionally intelligent makes dating them very easy, because these people have the intelligence also to deal with not so nice situations which always come up in a relationship. So that is very important to me, and I like someone that really stimulates my mind, so that's why those two factors are important to me. Put them in your profile. Another thing, if you don't want time wasters, I know it might come up rude, make it clear. There's always a section that gives you a chance to write, I think, up to like 100 words. Make it very clear, very polite, but also straightforward. I'm really here. I said that is my approach. I don't search because I believe every one of us has a soulmate out there, and I can assure you 100% your soulmate finds you eventually. It may take long, but they find you. So let me give you the approach that I give. Like in that section, if I wrote something, it would be currently single and ready to start a long term. If you're looking for long term, it's very important because we know there are many different people with different reasons. A long term relationship, hoping to find my soulmate here, someone that would be willing to drive, let me say, through life with me and grow with me, for example. So someone who is looking for a hookup is going to be that like, no, this one I won't try, she's going to make things complicated. So you filter out already. If you remember that video that I did on Bella's channel, it is important to filter out the, okay, I wouldn't use that word, useless, the unnecessary people who will waste your time, you know? So even when you're making your profile, make sure that you put measures in place to filter out the time wasters, you know? Let me try to remember which other section could help you. For example, in Bumble and Hinge, like many of them, there's that part where they ask you, what do you think would make us connect? For example, me, there are two things. I always say, if you're emotionally intelligent and intellectually intelligent, we'll definitely understand each other. Then I always put things like, if you are not boring, because I can't stand a boring person, my life has to evolve all the time. So, and you love traveling, then I think will be a good match. So that already gives someone a picture of who you are. You know, what I said exactly at the beginning, show your personality through your dating profile. I know it's tough, but you can. For example, let me tell you what would show my personality if I was open a dating profile. I said I love traveling. There'll definitely be a picture where I'm traveling. There'll definitely be a picture or a video, for example, some apps that offer that, where I'm dancing, a very tiny clip. It doesn't have to be crazy. There'll definitely be something where I'm doing sports because I'm very passionate about sports. Then my dress code, I'm a very, very, very fashion affine person. It's very, very important to me. So my pictures will definitely be very fashionable. I'm not saying the catwalk here, but that is my daily life. I really love to dress well. So my pictures already are depicting that. Someone who looks at my profile will know I'm not some basic girl, you know, so he will try me knowing what he's going in for. So those are things that you have to make clear. And if you're someone, for example, who is sporty, you're not into high heels, don't fake it. Don't post a profile picture wearing high heels, although you know you can't stand high heels, you even don't know how to walk in high heels. Because this guy is maybe going to contact you because he loves ladies who wear high heels, or he loves ladies who wear dresses, and you're not into that. And then he starts dating you, and he not says you love sneakers and you love your jeans and your joggers. So be as authentic as possible. If you're someone who likes to be chilled, you like your nice jeans, you like your joggers, drop in a picture with that, you know. Make it versatile. Don't make it desperate. Don't make it, you know, like if I was to post pictures where I'm like, ooh, and all that and all dolled up, it's also fake because I also have days where I'm like chill. I'll have a picture where I'm waiting like my sporty outfit, but again, like I said, I'm a very fashion affine person. It will be something very fashionable but still sporty, you know. So really make it you, so that when I look at your profile as a man, as a woman, I really don't even think about scrolling below because I'm like, oh my God, she's really perfect for me. So you really have to keep that in mind. Drop your comments. I'm going to answer all of them. But like I said, I've cooked a lot for you, so I want to serve that in that order. And then when I'm done serving you, I hope that through the things that I'm saying, you'll be able to find questions that you'd like to ask, and maybe I'll answer a few questions that I've been getting in my DM, and then we can roll it off from there. But another disclaimer I want to put here, don't be shy to ask anything, unless it's really, really personal and you want to keep it private. I respect that. But for the people who have been here on this channel, we're very, very high on respect, on kindness, and we don't tolerate like abuse, disrespect. So you're not going to have someone here in my comments tell you something bad. They'll be out of the family, you know, immediately. If you follow me on my Instagram, if you look in my bio, I live by the motto, be kind always. If you can't be kind, just shut up, you know. So if you have a question, just feel free, ask it. We've all been there, done that, so there's nothing really to be ashamed about. And love is everything that we all need, so feel comfortable and ask all your questions. So now we're talking about you've created your profile, and I've put this point in because I've got many questions about it. but I don't want to read the messages because it would get boring. But when it comes to the point, I've made my amazing profile and guys have started contacting me. I personally believe don't drag it. Don't do the texting back and forth for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I personally believe that is one, a time waster. Two, it leads to miscommunication. The best way because let's say a guy asks me, oh, so how are you doing today? And I'm like, I'm fine. Or maybe he texts like all excited and I had a tough day and I'm not really in the mood for this banter. And I'm like, hi, good, thanks for asking. He might misinterpret that for me not being interested. So my advice would be the golden rule: chat with a guy maximum, like really, really maximum. If you're someone who loves chatting, 6 days. I'm talking about this messaging back forth. After 6 days, if he doesn't take the first step to say that, you can take that. So there are two options. You can exchange numbers or you can make calls directly in the app. For example, most of the apps that I gave you also offer the option to chat with someone by voice message, like you call, or video call. So after like 6 days, that is my golden rule. Tell the guy, what do you think if we exchange numbers so we can get to call each other? Because through calling, you get to talk better. My loves, I see all of you. I'm going to scroll through your messages and we talk. And if you're here, please kindly share the video and also like it. Banter, you're not late. Because like I said, I'm doing everything in a chronological order. So you're going to be getting the tidbits right now, and what you missed, you'll find it at the beginning. And that's why I'm not answering your messages, because I don't want to lose my chain of thought. You know, I'm a very structured person, so I like to keep it that way. I would like to serve you what I cooked for you, and then I'll answer your question. So you're not late. Yes, so like I was saying, communication. If the guy contacts you, chat, but don't drag it on. Don't chat with a guy. You're not looking for pen pals, you know. There are even some time wasters, people that just want to talk to people to boost their ego, to know they're still hot, or they're even just lonely. So don't waste your time chatting with someone a whole month. 6 days maximum. That's what I would say. You don't must follow that, but that's what I would say. 6 days maximum. And then ask them if you can get to phone. And I feel phoning helps you as the person, if you're a woman or a man, or for me in my case, I feel it helps a lot because one, if you talk to someone, you can already decide if the chemistry is right or not. If you talk to someone, you can already filter out if this person is compatible with you or not. And that's not a lie. Not because I studied psychology, but I would say I have a very good sense of getting to understand people, and I think that would help every one of you, especially women. We have this extra sense, this intuition. So phoning with someone helps you a lot to filter out, and you're like, maybe let me give him a few more days and we'll decide. But phoning would be better. As we talk about phoning, don't be pushed into video calls. If you want to do that. But there shouldn't be any reason to say, oh my God, I have to do a video call so he doesn't leave me or whatever. If a guy stops talking to you because you didn't video call on your first phone call, then he's not the right one. Do only things that you are comfortable with and at your pace, okay? So we're moving on. When you're doing the phone calls, why am I dancing? I'm always nervous, crazy. Lynn, I'm loving your comments. People go on, I'll answer them, I promise. So these parts, as you can see, I marked them red. Well, you see, I have the blue ones and the red one up. So the ones I marked red, like I said, because I serve a holistic package, for me it's not enough to just come here and tell you, oh, this is how you make a perfect profile. I thought I would give you also the small beginner tips, because when we're talking profile, we talk about people are going to contact you. So these I marked them red because I thought they would fit in well. When you get a chance, for example, to start chatting with a guy or calling him, and in this sense, I also must say with the women, because I have people here who are guys and they're interested in those tips also, because dating is both ways. Don't quiz people. You know, if someone chats with you, don't let your first question be, how old are you? What do you do for work? Do you have kids? Are you divorced? Do you want to get married? I know it's good to make your agenda very clear, and I will give you a tip on how to do that, because I'm also very straightforward. Like I said, my time is priority to me. I don't have time to waste on some dude chatting back and forth. So yes, it's okay to ask those questions, but don't be quizzy, you know? Like already someone feels like, oh my God. And then the problem is, the generation we're in, most of us, or 99% of us, are getting love through online. We all know online dating can be very stressful. That people have been searching I hate that word, but who have been online for 2 years, 3 years. They've maybe dated some people for a few weeks and it didn't work out. So people are exhausted, and then it's so irritating and boring when someone, you have to answer a million times, this is my age, this is what I do, no, I'm divorced with 2 kids, or I'm not. Don't do that. If you're chatting with a guy or woman for the very first time, close your eyes and tell yourself you met this person at a party, you met this person in a bar. That's how people used to meet in the past. So let's take a scenario. If you meet a guy at a club and you're like, oof, he's hot, and you really start a conversation, you wouldn't go straight on to ask him, oh, have you been married before? No, you're just going to talk about the evening and then talk about the music and, oh, how often do you come to this club? And, oh, you love dancing, and that's amazing. So that's how you should start the conversation. Let it be natural. Let it just flow. And then I would say, if you chat like messages back and forth, sometimes even the burden will be taken off you. It will be, maybe the other person might ask you, do you already have kids? Or have you been married before? And then you can take it off. But don't start honestly with the first conversation or first phone call with, oh, what do you do? How old are you? Are you divorced? Do you want to get married? Maybe my tip is when you get to phone, for example, that's what I was saying, what helps you filter out. I'll talk to him, how's your day, or her. And then for me to get my answers, I'll be like, oh, and by the way, I've been married before. I have 2 kids, so I'm curious to know more about you. Then he will tell me, like if he's been married and has kids, and I'm like, oh, amazing. Or if he calls me like in the evening, I'm like, oh, you're already done with work. And that will push someone to tell you like, oh yeah, I work up to 4 or something like that. You understand? It doesn't have to be like so pushy, just let it naturally flow. And then along the way, you can ask the questions. But when the time comes to ask the questions or to set the thing straight, then be straightforward. So someone asked me in the DMs, how do I let someone know when we're communicating that I'm interested in marriage and not playing around? My thing would be, for example, I would ask him, what are your expectations on this online dating app? And then some people answer, yeah, I've been single for this and this time. I'm honestly just trying out and see what happens. So you ask him, what do you mean, what happens? Would you be interested in a long-term relationship if everything seemed to align, or you really want to first test the waters? Test the waters means I want to date, have some fun, and that's all, So you can ask it that way. One thing I want to make clear is when you date someone, yes, it is good to have the foundation. Yes, it's good to set the things clear, what you all want. But even if someone told you in the beginning, yeah, I really do want to get married, it's not guaranteed that they're going to marry you, But it's very important to set that clear. And that's where principles come in. You must have a timeline and be like, okay, if I'm in Kenya or Uganda, like let's say a long distance relationship, or even here in Germany, set a timeline and say, if we're dating for 1 year and we have a long distance between us, I would personally want that we, at least in our 2nd or 3rd year, think of moving closer to each other or moving in together. You don't must move in, but you're showing him, I'm not interested in hooking up every now and then. I'm not an F buddy, So those are things that you can communicate along the way. I'm almost done. Then I read your comments. Exactly. So I'm doing this because I've been having so many questions in my DM. So I'm trying to merge that, right? In the beginning, or right in the middle, I talked about your intuition. Women, especially, trust. I repeat, trust in capital letters. I even wrote it in capital letters here. Oh my God, my tablet. Trust your intuition. If you chat with a guy, if you phone with a guy, if you meet a guy or a woman, no, we're talking men because the intuition is for women, something special that God gave us, and you have a strange feeling. Let me give you an example. I once chatted with a guy online and then we got to call, and while we were talking, he was a nice guy, like we even had a lot in common, but after the phone call, there was something that didn't sit right. And I even thought of, like writing to him and blocking him. But then I was like, no, I'll give him a second chance. I'll let us phone again. And when we did phone again, I steered the conversation to another direction. And then I got my answer. I was like, okay, now I know why I felt funny last time. He's not for me. And for me, the reason was he was not emotionally intelligent. A guy that is educated and he was wealthy and all that, but his mentality was still in 1900, and that's what had made me uncomfortable, all the time. I don't know if it happens to most of you, but I've had situations, for example, when I've been like active on online dating, where I meet guys and they think it would matter to me if they were able to give me everything financially and nice trips and beautiful cars. And I'm thinking, boy, you're talking to the wrong woman, So those are some of the things. And then, of course, I said, no, I'm sorry, but my gut feeling tells me you're not the right one. And we ended it. And another thing I wanted to say, I told to someone who asked me in my DM, and he asked me, oh, such a pity. I really, really liked you. Can we remain friends? I said, no, at this age, I'm not looking for friends. I already have friends, but thanks. Do you know why I did that? If you've been dating someone and you separate, or if you've just been online and you notice this person is not the right one for me, for heaven's sake, do not fall into the trap of let's remain friends. Like, for heaven's sake, what do you need a friend from an online dating app? Did you join the app to find friends, buddies? No, don't do that. That is just one, time waster. Two, that is a trick to keep you around as an F buddy. I'm not going to use that word, but you know what I mean, like friends with benefits. He thinks, oh, maybe at one time you change your mind, or one time you be desperate and he can hit you up. Don't keep anyone around that is not really serving why you got in touch with them in the first place. So you know yourself, I answered in the DM because someone also had such a situation, and then we come into a very sensitive part. Write your messages. I'm going to answer all of them, trust me. Sending intimate pictures, what you call, I don't know if I can use this word on YouTube, the NUDES, intimate pictures. So let me get this straight. If you're chatting with a guy and you're not yet in an established relationship for me means we've been chatting, we've got to phone, we've got to meet each other, and we've both agreed we are now in a relationship. And people, don't let men string you along, or women, and be like, yeah, we've been having sex already and we've kissed already, so you're in a relationship. No. Make it clear. If you notice things are moving to a direction that looks like a relationship, or someone is getting the benefits of the relationship, ask them, him or her, are we in a relationship? Are we exclusive? If you're someone, for example, who is monogamous, are we exclusive? Because men don't, like there's a book that said men are from Mars and women are from where? We're different. For you might think, oh, everything looks so perfect and so intimate. We're in a relationship. No. Sleeping with someone doesn't mean you're in a relationship. Kissing someone doesn't mean you're in a relationship. Someone buying you presents doesn't mean you're in a relationship. So always get that clear. And when this person says we are in a relationship, so this is my view. It shouldn't be everyone's view, but this is my view as regards NUDES, intimate photos. So for as long as you're not in a relationship, do not send a guy pictures. And I'm so mean, like when it comes to that, I've ever had such messages, of course. I told the guy, there are enough websites that offer such pictures at a fee. So I don't see why you should give someone the most intimate bits of yourself free of charge. Let me put it that way. It's not called for. So don't do that. And like I said, sending a guy NUDES will not make him love you more or marry you or choose you over the 20 girls that he's also chatting with. No. A guy will choose you because he wants you, not because now you've sent pictures of your, and all that. Don't do that. But now comes the but. But that's my view. Personally, I'm a very modern and liberal person. So I believe if you are in a relationship, again, if it's really a clear, communicated relationship, and exchanging intimate pictures is a form of your love language, is a form of keeping the fire burning, then I have no problem with that. I hope you get that clear. If you are in a relationship, we talk about, for example, you're in a long distance relationship. Even if I'm not in a long distance relationship, if I'm at work and I think about my love and maybe I'm like, oh, I'm looking hot today, he would love this pic because maybe that's our love language. I could send him some steamy picture, but you must know that people always say, think about it will have consequences. Personally, I say there wouldn't be any harm with NUDEs, but it's what we attach to them. We've sexualized them. I'll give an example. When it comes to intimacy, we all have different forms of intimacy. I've had people asking their messages about fetishes, like guys who say, I want a dominant woman, or the guys who love feet, or people who love hands, you know. That is sexual, but it has not been sexualized. So if my boyfriend likes feet and he asks me to send him NUDs of my feet, would you call them NUDs? No. But if he sends someone a picture of this and, you know, people be like NUDs, but for me, that is just flesh and skin. But again, of course, to be on a safer side, it should be really only with someone that you trust, someone that respects you, and someone that you're in a relationship with. And if you're to go really, really crazy steamy, then try to hide your face. If things ever go south and the person abuses that special moment between you, and if it ever happens, especially here in Europe, take the law and let it go on your side, because we have laws that really protect you against that. But at the end of the day, personally, I really don't care, because a bat is just a flesh of skin. This here is just a skin. Like for me, it's nothing weird. But again, to protect yourself, like I said, we're different. If you send your loved one, you know, your hubby or your fiancé such steamy pictures or videos, maybe try and protect your face in case he turns out to be a bad person. But again, like I said, I have nothing against that. If it's your love language, if it's your way of keeping in touch with each other, and especially in long distance relationship, you get to miss your loved one, and maybe that's the way you keep in touch. You can do that, but don't do it at the dating phase where the guy's like, oh, send me some more pictures. You know, just block the nutter. I'm almost done. I talked about this in some video at a guest channel. So again, that comes to when you're creating your profile. Do not make compromises that you cannot live with. And I'm going to specify. Compromises is, I told you when I create, for example, a dating profile, I like men that are older than me. I wouldn't date someone who's my age. So I always put between 35 and 50. And for me, 50 is like the maximum. Maximum of 55, it depends, because there are even some people who are 55 and they're much younger and fitter than someone who's 40. So I give it a chance. But if you're someone who takes a compromise, for example, you decide, okay, I'm going to give a 70-year-old a chance, then be sure that you can live with that compromise. Be realistic, you know. If you're dating a 70-year-old and you're 20-year-old, 30-year-old, you have to be honest and realistic and know this person will never match your sexual energy at any one time in life. He will never match your, maybe that kind of intimacy that you want. This person maybe will never be able to give you babies, or if you get babies, will not have the energy to play football with them or run around with them. So if you choose this person, you have to be honest and fair with yourself and say, okay, I'm a 30-year-old, I've decided to date this 70-year-old because he has a nice character, he's very loving and all, but I'm also ready to, how do I do that? To take the compromise, for example, when it comes to the intimacy bit. You know, maybe I'll be able to pleasure myself or find other means that don't affect our relationship, but don't get married to a 70-year-old, 80-year-old. I've got such DMs, and then start demanding that the guy doesn't satisfy you. Biologically, you're being ignorant. I'm sorry. If I marry an 80-year-old and I'm 30, there's no way I will expect this person to match my, let me say, sexual energy or intimate desires. Biologically, he's not even able to get it straight up like it should. You know, we don't want to get PG, but you should keep that in mind and accept your partner the way they are. That's the example that I meant with take compromises that you can live with. If you decide to date a dominant guy or someone who is narcissistic or someone who is disrespectful, then be sure, can I live with this in the long term? Or if you risk it, do you have a plan B? Do you have an exit plan? You know? So really keep in mind, is this something that I can live with long term, or it would be dangerous in the end? If you date a guy, I'll give you my example, and he says, I want a housewife. Sit back and ask yourself, do I really want to be a housewife for the rest of my life? For me, that would be a reason to say, I'm sorry, we can't date, because I could never be a housewife. You know, like, yes, I can be a housewife, maybe 30% working and all that, but I could never be a full-time housewife, sit at home, eat, shop, drink, sleep. That's not me. So those are things that you have to think about. So that means, for example, if that was the point, I would not date him, because I know that is something I cannot live with long term. That's what I meant, okay? So keep that in mind. We have our last 2 points. So now the ones that I'm answering actually last, they are all based on the messages that I've gotten from people. But since I don't have the permission to share the messages, I'm very keen on that. I answer the questions indirectly. So my other or last or second last point is don't play dating games. People have asked me, yeah, so I sent him a message and then he answers at this time. So do I answer or do I first ignore him? My lovelies, life is way too short for games. If you miss someone, tell them. If you love them, tell them. If you want to talk to them, talk to them. If you want to call them, call them. There shouldn't be, and I've seen such of lots of nonsensical videos. I would call it nonsensical, and articles where people are like, yeah, if he writes to you, give it 5 days and then answer him. BS. That is total BS. Life is way too short to play these ping pong games. He answered 2 hours later or answered 10 hours later. BS, total BS. Because at the end of that day, you're only hurting yourself and you're missing out on time that you'll never get back. For example, if I play around with a guy and I'm like, so I'm going to ignore him the next 5 days. These are 5 days that I'm missing out on spending with my partner and maybe having a good time and creating memories and experiencing life. So be selfish when dating. You know, I know that sounds bad, but you really have to be selfish to successfully date. Look out for yourself. Look out for what makes you happy. I'm not saying you throw your partner under the bus, but don't be in these ping pong games. Don't answer him, ignore him, blah, blah, blah. And that's where also that being principled and straightforward comes in. If you're writing to your dude and he answers 10 hours later, then ask him, why do you answer me 10 hours later? I accept, like, if you're in Africa and you're dating an American guy, you also have to keep in mind the time zones. But if it's something that is making you unhappy, you tell him, I'm not comfortable with that. Can we find a way to make our communication better? And just on the note, there's no relationship that will ever function without good communication. So if something is bothering you, don't keep it in. Like I said, life is way too short to waste angry, to waste on being annoyed with each other. Talk about it, right? So now I have my two key points for you. I'm looking which one do I say last and which one do I say. Let me see. Oh, before I forget, someone asked me about the app that I shared on the guest channel that I appeared on, the Scout, Love Scout 24. In other countries, in some other countries, it goes by the name Mythic. I shared that in the other video. You go and check it out, you know. So I did my research, and in other countries, because it's a daughter company, it goes, you can get it by the name Mythic, like meeting someone with the IC. So my takeaway for you today before I go into your comments is, do not come off desperate, you know. Being desperate when searching, let me put it that way, though I told you I don't search and I don't like that word, can lead you into tricky situations. When you come up desperate, you might end up dating the wrong person, making compromises that actually don't work for you because you have the impression maybe he's my last chance or she's my last chance. I repeat, and this is not bullshit, people. I swear to you, every one of us has their soulmate out there. It might take you 1 year, it might take you 2 years, but take my word, and I hope in future you can come back on my section here and testify, your soulmate always finds you. Always. Because this person is meant for you. There's no way they're ever going to be with someone else. I like the example of Alicia Keys one time when she had married Sways and everyone was against her. They were like, she's a marriage break and all that. And I remember one time she made an interview. I remember discussing that with my sisters and laughing, and she was like, this guy is my soulmate. So people, if you're in an unhappy relationship, don't stick there, because your soulmate might be somewhere else suffering because they're with the wrong person. But in the end, he ended up with Alicia. So if that was his soulmate, that means it took long for Alicia. She was all the time dating men, relationships ending, but her soulmate found her, you know. You'll find your person. Don't be desperate. And most of all, when I talk about desperate is don't make unnecessary compromises. If a guy really, really wants you and likes you, you'll not have to second guess him. You'll not have to go the extra mile. So don't bend yourself backwards and forwards and all that, and be weekend girlfriends that do the cleaning and cooking and all that BS with the hope that that will make him love you more or marry you. If he wants you to be the kind of real wife and girlfriend that does all that, then let him earn it, you know. I've never been in a relationship where I visit a guy on the weekend and start cooking and cleaning. Sorry. No, that's not why I'm there. I'm there to spend time with you. I'm there to have a nice time with you. And if we were married and we were staying together, of course, we get to share the chores, so it would be automatic that I clean your house. But I'm not going to visit my boyfriend on the weekend and start hoovering his house and cleaning his toilet and all that BS with the hope that he will marry me. So this goes out to the weekend girlfriends. And that's just a joke. But what I'm saying is, do not give more than you're getting. Match someone's energy. The same with the communication, with the messages. If someone is giving you low vibes, and that's what something narcissists use. Maybe I'll do a video about that. They give you low vibes. The more low vibes they give you, the more energy you put in, the more investment you put in. And that is something that really makes them happy. You know, like when a guy answers your message 10 hours later, and then you're like, why didn't you answer me? Did I say something wrong? Did something go wrong? And then you write 10 messages. You know, they love that. So don't fall into that trap. I've been there myself, so don't fall into that trap. Really match someone's energy. Don't give more than you get, because you can't give from an empty cup. A relationship should be a give and take and balancing out each other. So if someone is giving you mediocre vibe, someone is giving you how do you say that in English? Lukewarm vibes. They are warm, they are cold, they never get hot. You know what I mean? Like you're not sure what exactly they're doing with you, what they want with you. If a man is making you second guess him, or a woman, start looking for someone else, okay? You don't have to leave them. You can keep them around for the meantime, whichever you like it. But then that person is not the right one for you. If they're giving you low vibes, you know, they're making you second guess them. They're making you wonder every day, what is it exactly that we have? Don't waste your time. So, especially for my ladies, this is my last message, and then I'll go into the messages. And this message is strictly because I can't say how many messages, but if I went back to scroll, ever since my last video, I've got at least 50 messages, and they're almost like similar. And that's why I thought I should reshare this. Now listen, men marry when and because they are ready. Men don't marry you because you're the most beautiful in the world, because you're the hottest and steamiest girl they've ever seen. Men don't marry you because, oh my God, you're the only girl that ever cleaned my apartment so right, or the only girl that knows how to make lasagna. Men marry you because they're ready. Honestly, it's not to mean they don't love you. They love you, but men and women are wired differently. Women were very emotional people, you know. When I look at for example, my dating history, even my marriage, we married for love. Like, oh my God, I'll spend the rest of my life with him. I'll have kids with him and all that. A man will love you, but when he's not ready to marry, it won't be a problem to leave you and move on to the next because you want marriage. And because he's not ready. I've had situations, I'm not going to name the names, where someone leaves you. For example, you've been dating a guy for years and years, he leaves you. Or maybe you get tired and you're like, oh my God, I've been with you for all these years, I can't go on. You leave him. He meets another girl, 2 years later, he marries her. It's because he was ready. Honestly, it's because you should never ask yourself, what was wrong with me? Was I not good enough? No, it's because he was ready. And when you have men friends, because I have many male friends, they tell you, for us, we marry just because we are ready, not because you're the most beautiful girl. Yes, you're beautiful and I love you, but you come at a time, it's all about timing, it's all about luck, and of course, all the chemistry. And most guys, like the friends I have, they always tell you, and that's the problem. That's why men cheat mostly with their exes. Why? Because sometimes you meet a guy and everything connects and everything. He marries you because, oh, now he's ready. I really want to have kids. I want to settle down. I'm growing older, or this kind of thing. But in his head, he's thinking of ex-girlfriend number 4 every time. And he's like, if only I had been ready at that time, she would have been the perfect one. I'm not trying to scare you, but what I'm trying to make clear is, do not give more than you're getting. Like I said, if he really, really wants you, he'll do anything and everything. And I'm talking from experience, okay? If a guy really wants to be with you, he'll do anything and everything. So don't overstretch it. Love your boyfriends, love the people you're dating, but give the same energy, drive at the same wavelength. You know, like a radio, what you're getting, and don't overstretch yourself. So my loves, I'm going to the comments and let's chat. I thought I'd be live only a few minutes, but it's almost an hour. Crazy. So I'm scrolling your messages. Lovely. I want my message to disappear. Okay. Someone said, hello, Superwoman. Guten Tag, Imani. Hello, guys. Date my age gives you... Oh, it's so annoying. Why are the messages disappearing? Let me start from down. Memory saying, what if someone you're chatting with seems serious, but he has a plain phobia? Should I continue the conversation with him or not? Those are compromises and sacrifices I was talking about. If someone has a plain phobia, for me, it would be a problem because I love traveling. I'm still traveling. I'm hoping to travel the whole world if God grants me that chance. So it would make our relationship complicated, because even if I dated him and married him, then we'd have conflicts like, how am I going to travel to Indonesia by car, you know? But of course, if that is not a deal breaker for you and he's really perfect and he's okay with you, for example, being the one to fly over to visit him, then you can date him, of course. Honestly, like I said, let's not be vain and naive. You'll never find the perfect partner. Never. I have a very funny short video. You should go in my shorts where I asked, is marriage a scam? You know? And people ask me questions, but that was for me like, I call it food for thought. Like I'm a very reflected person. So you'll never find the perfect person unless you're going to bake that person yourself. So there'll always be things that maybe are not okay, but you can live with them. Those are the compromises that I said you can live with them. So if your boyfriend is phobic about flying and you can travel to him, that's okay. Actually, maybe you could be the one that helps him to get over this phobia, because this phobia is treatable. You know, if that is not a deal breaker for you, you can continue the relationship. You can be the one that goes to visit him, you know, instead of him flying to you to visit you, and so on and so forth. For me, that wouldn't be a deal breaker. If, for example, I'm comfortable with being the one that flies over, or I'm comfortable with the fact that in the future, if we are to travel, go by train and by car. And honestly, the world is so developed. Sometimes it's even more comfortable and faster to go by train. So that wouldn't really be a deal breaker. But for me, it would be a deal breaker, of course, because I want to travel everywhere, wide and fast. So I'll be like, if my partner can't come along. But again, I'm also someone who loves to travel alone. So honestly, that shouldn't be a deal breaker. I hope I've answered your question. I'm sorry, the chats keep disappearing, so I have to keep. So Lynn Zab is saying that's my tattoo. I don't know what she means. Wolemwa wanogenda kuanga. You're so funny, Imani. But thank you. Me, I'm not seeing any improvement in this, even if I'm humble. Angela, what do you mean exactly? You don't see any improvement in this, even if I'm humble. I don't mean your message. Are you trying to say even if you're humble and kind, it won't help the relationship? I don't know. If that's what you mean, that's exactly something that you talked about. I said a relationship should be a place where you feel comfortable, where you feel fulfilled, where you feel you're also benefiting from each other. I know we all love that word, unconditional love, but love is never unconditional. Much as I would love that, love is never unconditional. Because let's be honest, like I said, you can't give from an empty cup. So love, unfortunately, is not unconditional. For example, calling love unconditional would mean, for example, I stay with an abusive partner because love is unconditional. If he beats me, if he abuses me, I'm supposed to stay with him because love is unconditional. So like I said, Malaika, if that's what you mean, if you are not feeling the vibe, if things are not improving, then you have to think of a plan B. Is it something I can live with, or do I have to end this? You know? And then as regards communication, I said it. You can't stay with a guy who thinks it's okay to call you after every 2 weeks. You know? If it is something that you're not comfortable with, communicate it. And if no change takes place, then he's the wrong person. Because again, like I said, if someone really, really wants to be with you, be it a woman, be it a man, they'll do whatever they can in their power to make you happy, to make you feel at home, to change the things that don't feel you comfortable. So if your partner is giving you, like I said, low-key vibes, he's not meeting you in the middle, he's giving you lukewarm vibes. Lukewarm means someone is giving you mediocre, like what I hate, is giving you 50%, sometimes 60%, but never the 100%. Let him go. And like I said, don't be desperate. This world, we are 7 billion people. Now, you can't tell me that out of the 7 billion people out there, your partner is not among them. So don't be desperate. And now we are modern, we are international. We have a pool of dating possible partners, you know, because I can date a guy from America when I'm in Uganda. You understand? Like, we have all the possibilities. So don't tolerate something that you really can't live with, okay? And I also want to set it clear, if anyone still has questions, because I've been helping some people in my DM, I also had a phone call with someone, of course, that I decide if we chat, and I'm like, okay, maybe it will help if we get to talk. Like I told you, this is a social empowerment channel. I have a friend, she's going to kill me, but I will not say much. Like, she's about to meet her boyfriend, and she was asking, you know, how do I go about it? What should I consider? Like, how are, you know, things that are important to this kind of culture. I'm open to that. You can ask me in my DM, and maybe if it necessitates a phone call, I have a business WhatsApp number. I can always schedule a call with you, and we talk about that. So if anyone still has questions that maybe are deeper that you can't share here, my DMs are always open for you, because again, it's all about social empowerment, okay? I'm so angry. The messages keep disappearing. I don't understand YouTube. So let me scroll quickly. Thanks, my dear. You have helped me. Oh, I appreciate that. What if blah blah? Please don't disappear. Okay. I gave up on online dating a long time ago. Lynn, I totally feel you. I say that at the beginning, online dating can be frustrating, but online dating only works if you're not searching. That's why I told you I don't use the word searching, and I've never searched in my life. You can join online dating. Like I say, don't be desperate. Check every once in a while, and maybe the time you're not expecting anything is the time you find a message from actually your actual soulmate. So you could open up a profile maybe on 1 or 2 apps, check it once in a while, but don't make it religious, going there every day. I have to swipe. How many men have liked me? How many have sent messages? Oh, and then the ladies always ask me about paying. Paying is also a form of desperation. Don't rush it. Take your time. Let guys like your pictures, let do whatever they want, but take your time. Don't rush to pay for memberships and all that at the beginning, because basically most apps, 90%, you have other services. And if a guy is paying, of which is the case, 90% of the guys will pay, or like I said, if a guy really, really likes your profile, he'll pay, even if he wasn't paying member. So don't rush, because you might spend your money 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you don't find the right person. So for me, I see online dating, just do it chilled, Don't go desperate. Don't be like, oh God, I have to find someone this year. No, just open your profile. Like I told you, you check a message and you're like, bingo, So do it, but don't do it desperately. I think that's the best way it works. But if you join online dating with a target, I want to get married this year, then you'll die of stress. So Lynn, I wouldn't totally give up, but of course, that's your choice. Let me see if I read the messages. Fountain of knowledge. Oh, Imani, you're so kind, and I love you so much. But you know that. Let me sit and enjoy. So my loves, for those of you who joined later and said I've missed out, you didn't miss out, because of course the video is going to stay here online. I'm going to end the video right here. I'm kindly requesting you to share my video, share it on your WhatsApp statuses, groups, whatever. I don't know where people share videos, but please kindly help me share the video. Sharing is caring, so that everyone else also gets to see the video. And like I said, if you still have any questions, go in the comment section. I will answer you. If it's something very personal, DM me and I'll get back to you. And again, if you're new here, like I said, I'm all about social empowerment. So if you find the love of your life and you need advice about relocating, you need me to guide you. Of course, I offer some services at a fee, but honestly, like talking to you, if you have questions, what do I do? He said those are really free services. But like, I've had clients who have met, people, like my most recent clients are in Denmark, and then you want to relocate, you want to know what you need, the process, how do I apply for the visa, what should my partner do, and all that. I offer that as a consultation at a fee. So for all of you, I really pray and hope you find your soulmate, you find the love of your lives, and I'm sure you'll find them. So don't stress out, just chill, and they will find you. Trust me, they will find you. I don't know which video I'm going to be posting next, but it will be also, I think, around that, or maybe our travel vlog, because I still get many questions. But I would also appreciate if you let me in the comment section, or you DM me and be like, oh, Ruzhoff, I would like you to do a video about this, or I have a question about this, and I'll gladly do that. And why did I do a live today? When I started my social empowerment journey, now let me chat a little bit. I started this journey in the Corona time. As I said, I'm a practicing social worker here in Germany. So I was online, and then social media is good, but it's also bad. So I would see lives from people that are basically, how do I say that? That are not honest, that lie to people. When we all come to Europe and people are telling the story and one is telling you the truth and things just happen, and I was like, but I have that knowledge, Why can't I share this knowledge and empower people? Because it has always been my passion to serve, So that's how this journey started. And that time I used to do lives once a week. Of course, I cut it down because I also have a job and I'm a single mom, as you know. But when I posted on my YouTube community, you should always check out my community tab, because that's where I ask the questions or give you a little updates. I asked when you want me to do a live. to post videos. Someone said, you all said Wednesday, and then some people requested me to be doing lives every Friday. And I thought that's a good idea, because with lives we can also get to exchange knowledge, we can empower each other. And I'm hoping that with lives, maybe in future, we can even get to do lives with a guest, like someone who wants to share her story, to encourage others, to empower them, or even when it's a negative story, so that we can advise each other, so that this person can get knowledge, so that we can learn from each other. So that's my target. I can't promise you that it will be every Friday, but if you people give me topics that you're interested in, of course, I also have ideas what I could share with you. But if you would give me topics that you'd like me to talk about, like on Fridays when we do our lives, or if you're someone that would like to join me and you have a story to share or you need advice, I'd really, really love that. And then we'll try and do lives every Friday. So I leave everything in your hands. I'll wait for your response in the comment section, and I hope we can do that, because it makes me so happy. Because like I said, if you go and read about my channel information, for me this is a social empowerment channel, a journey that gives me the opportunity to serve humanity. My loves, it's been amazing. Until next time, I wish you all the best. I love you. Bye.